Hey everybody. Today I just wanted to do a quick video on how we can, in LabVIEW, basically serialize a class. There are different ways of doing this. This is just a way. This kind of depends. I'll show you on a couple things. So first thing we need is this JSON text from James Powell. So we are serializing the class data to JSON. So we'll need that. And then we also need this JSON text object serialization toolkit from PNR. And that we're going to use these two tools together. And this does have some dependencies as well, which specifically the LabVIEW composition is the main one that's actually generating the classes from strings and converting classes to strings and whatnot. So yeah, those are the two tools you will need to do that. Here I just have a simple class. Let's go add some data to the private class. So yeah, let's add a string. Maybe let's add a numeric. Let's add maybe a push button. So yeah, just add some data to the class. Really doesn't matter what's in it. We're able to basically serialize whatever. And because it uses JSON, it's easy to track kind of the hierarchy of everything. So if you have clusters inside of this cluster that are complex structures, it's able to basically represent that very well. So yeah, we have our class set up. Let's go now set up a new VI, and I'll show you how you can set up that. So we're going to want to go to the JSON text functions. So yeah, we're going to, mainly we just need the to JSON text and from JSON text. But if we drop the to JSON text down, and then there's this LabVIEW class serializer. So this is actually that second toolkit that I showed from PNR. It's going to drop this down. For this, let's just drop that generic object serializer down. And it's going to drop down like that. And this class output, we're actually just going to wire in there. So there we go. And I'm going to set pretty print to true. That's not a requirement. It just makes the JSON text a little more readable. And then you can see here, it's asking you to just put anything into it. And when it says anything, it literally means anything. So I'm just going to drop this class down and wire that in. Sweet. So yeah, that's kind of the setup for if you wanted to serialize a class. Let's go here, click run, and you see we get our class data as a string. So we have string, numeric, and Boolean, and each one of those has a value. And so all of these are the default because we have an empty string here. We have a 0 for numeric, and our Boolean is false. So yeah, everything follows the defaults, but this way I can basically convert this class to a string. And in this case, right, I'm just taking the default. I could have different methods and whatnot, along this wire that change that class data, and I can serialize it at whatever point. And it's not just going to pull the default values, it's going to pull however the class is configured at that time. So that way you can serialize classes. So, and I'll show you now in reverse how you can convert a string to a class. So we're going to use this from JSON text function. And yeah, I'm going to take this string and I'm going to copy it into here. Let's create a constant, and I'm going to just put that in there. And you can see here it's also asking for a LabVIEW class serializer, so let's wire that in there. And so the other thing we have to do is we have to define the data type and default value. So we can just take this class, pass it in here, and it knows to pass that class out. Now you also can do stuff like load like a parent class, and then try to build children, but that also requires that this be compatible with the class you're using. So this is the easy way to do it. So yeah, we've got our serializer, and we're going to pass this guy out. And I'm going to probe this so you can see the values. And yeah, let's set some values here so you can see that I'm able to set the properties. So let's set the string to maybe be can of controls. Let's set the number to 22. And let's set this Boolean value to be true. Sweet. So let's run this. And you can see in our probe, our string, our numeric, and our Boolean. I'll set how I set them in that text there. And what we get out is just that class. So that way we can basically take a string in whatever configuration and convert it to an equivalent class. So yeah, that's one way of multiple ways that you can basically serialize a class and kind of deserialize it. So you can take a class, convert it to a string, and then you can take a string and convert it to a class and vice versa. So in practice, you don't necessarily want to be doing something like that in production. There may be a use case. It kind of defeats a lot of the points of encapsulation and whatnot. But it can be useful for testing and things like that. So yeah, just wanted to highlight that is how you can basically do that using the JSON text toolkit and that additional object serialization JSON text toolkit in LabVIEW. Thanks for watching.
Canon Controls is your gateway to mastering LabVIEW. Dive into programming for data acquisition, industrial communications, and manufacturing automation. Explore how to enhance your projects with cybersecurity best practices. Join the journey to elevate your skills and secure your systems with every episode.